Mbinguni natamani kuona wapendwa waume ambao wamesimama imara, lakini ikifunguliwa milango huko, napenda kwanza nimwone Yesu. Mbinguni natamani kuona wapendwa waume ambao wamesimama imara, lakini ikifunguliwa milango huko, napenda kwanza nimwone Yesu. Napenda kwanza nimwone Yesu na sura yake ya ajabu kuu. Mbinguni katikati ya watakatifu, napenda kwanza nimwone Yesu. Napenda kwanza nimwone Yesu na sura yake ya ajabu kuu.
Hello, Trinity friends and friends of Trinity. I want to wish you a happy new year. I was gone for the new year as we were, along with a team of 15, in Tanzania, and it's good to be back with you. We're so grateful to connect again with Johan and Sonia Hinderly and the wonderful way that they gave care and just loved being with you, Trinity, during these last 2 weeks. This is the season of Epiphany. It's a season of light. As Jesus came into this dark world at Christmas time, we see the light of Christ growing and growing among us. We also see that life of Jesus as he was growing. It says in the Gospel of Luke that he grew in favor with God and with people. And so we think about the life of growth and the life of discipleship, following this Jesus who is growing in our life, and the life of a disciple is the life of growth. We saw that so clearly in Tanzania as we saw Christians who were so devoted to evangelism and to growing, even in the midst of sometimes great poverty, a richness of discipleship. And it made me, in fact, it was hard for me not to contrast that to the Christianity that we see so often in America, where we are so rich in many areas, but oftentimes poor in the area of discipleship. Biblical following or discipleship really includes two important aspects. One of them is an invitation, and one of them is a challenge. I watched this so clearly in the church in Tanzania, where people were invited to follow Jesus, but also challenged to grow. And so I want to do something that is challenging to you. I want to issue a challenge to you as you plan your next month. I want to challenge you. If you're normally an every Sunday at worship kind of person, I want to challenge you to continue meeting with the brothers and sisters in Christ. Thank you for the way that you value worship and growing in your faith. If you're more irregular in your worship attendance, I want to issue a challenge to you to go to the next at least 3 out of 4 worship services at Trinity, January 19th, January 26th, and February 9th. You might notice that I left out February 2nd. If you need to skip any of the next 4 Sundays, let me suggest Super Bowl Sunday, February 2nd. We'll be having a great service here in the morning and a Super Bowl party and short service at night, so we'd love to have you in worship on February 2nd. But with all my heart, I want you to be at this coming Sunday, February 19th, as we look more deeply at the vision that God has given to this church for reaching the nations of the world. It says in Isaiah 49, and we'll be looking at that this week. It's the Old Testament lesson for this week. Isaiah 49 verse 6 says, I will make you as a light for the nations, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth. God gave Jesus to us as the light of our world. And then when Jesus looked at his followers, he says, and you now are the light of the world. This verse applies to us. God giving us light in Jesus Christ and then turning us on, really making us the light that Jesus means to shine in this world. So this week we'll look at vision. Next week we're going to look at Thanksgiving, why we're thankful that God has put us at Trinity into this Christian congregation. And then finally on February 9th, we're going to have a chance for response. What is God calling us to, and how can we respond to God's call to us in Jesus Christ? So I challenge you, come to 3 out of the next 4 Sundays in worship, January 19th, 26th, and at least February 9th. God's blessings, Trinity. It's good to be home.